scene sets for our third player, Inspector Conekki Dots, human investigator currently working out of Daggerford. Conekki, you wake up in your rented three-room hovel next to the Shrine of Tamora by the main mercantile gate of town. Your small hut looking fairly unimpressive next to the Grand Temple next door. The bells of the temple have woken you up for the early morning prayers, and as you begin preparing your morning, you can hear the bells of the town crier coming round the corner. On you.
And I clamber out of my little bed and approach my bedroom door and turn the handle. And I go downstairs to begin my morning routine.
You make your way out of the attic room into the downstairs, which is the kitchen living conjoined. As you follow through your morning routine, you brew your tea and sit by the window, listening out for your normal morning messages from the town's crier. The beginning of the news is fairly run-of-the-mill. Lady Morwen up at the palace is planning a feast for the Council of Guilds tomorrow night, followed by the death and birth announcements for the previous week. As well as that's really, really bad. And
As the town crier finishes, I kind of...
so I wasn't quite done, but
Oh, carry on.
it was just a bot drop down. There it comes back in. And finally, as his voice proceeds to change for a brief moment, what is your passive perception?
My passive perception is 11.
You cannot make out what he has said.
I let out a hearty sigh.
You could actively try to hear, but that's entirely based on rolling luck.
No, I don't think I will.
Fair enough.
I'm still a bit bleary-eyed. So as for town crier, or whatever, the herald, I think they're called,
I was going to say it's one of the two.
has finished his morning announcements. And as he's finished, I've kind of drained the last of my tea, and I put it down on the counter, and I look about, I kind of glance around, and sigh to myself loudly, and go, "Oh, that lazy man." And then I go upstairs and bang on the other door.
Fair enough. The small roof rooms you and Gaston share. You can hear Gaston is clearly already up, but is getting himself ready. As he responds, "Just a minute, Dots, just a minute."
Gaston, you are 4 minutes behind schedule. You've missed the herald.
As he makes his way over to the door, half dressed and trying to tame his I've given him a Watson-esque moustache. Trying to tame his bushy moustache into fine points to look respectable. I'll be there in a moment, my good man, my good man.
I glance down and inspect what I'm wearing.
You are naked from the waist down.
Oh, Gaston! I knew I forgot something this morning. I'm all out of sorts. It's almost as if I've never lived this life before. And I rush off to my bedroom to find my clothes.
Fair enough. You pull on your regular clothes, light
And
jacket.
after all, I was 4 minutes behind schedule. I forgot to get dressed.
Fair enough. Okay. So with that, you sit down for. Do you have breakfast normally? That wasn't on your list.
No, tea's my breakfast. I intermittently fast. It helps keep a sharp mind.
Fair enough. Oh, this is really stuttering now, isn't it?
Sorry, I've got it quite quiet anyway.
Fair enough. So you make your way round after you set yourself to rights, you pull on your boots and watch as Gaston digs into his regular breakfast. An egg on toast.
Did you say watch?
As I say, I assume you sit there and watch him eat, like...
Oh, I thought I'm wearing a wristwatch.
No. You sit there and
You
watch,
didn't
sorry.
say this was allowed.
No, you sit there and watch as he eats his egg on toast. Still twiddling the mustache, trying to get the points just right. Before you start setting about the day, so you've got your day list there, what would you do next?
The next thing I would do is refer to my day list, which is I've got a rough idea what I would do. Let me just find my WhatsApp. Wasn't WhatsApp, was it? It was text.
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook.
So,
Uh,
let me give you
I've got it. So, how long since the Herald did his news? Would you say?
Well, you've had to get dressed, and you've had your tea, so they're probably coming towards about 8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock. Okay. I will proceed to shoot the shit with Gaston for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I won't RP it for the sake of brevity, but I'll say to him, "Oh well, I think it's getting closer time. I should go find us another investigation. Don't you think?" No. Of course, I don't need you to come. No. You stay here. You carry on with the research. I'll be back in a while.
I
I'll
may take
get the
my
doctor.
own job for today. We'll see how things progress.
Right you are, Gaston.
As
And
you head out
then,
the door, I assume is the next job.
yeah, then I head out the door.
As you head out the door, you have on the doorstep a small paper-wrapped parcel with brown string, unaddressed and simply left there, with a small black dot drawn on the top in one corner.
I am visibly alarmed. Like
Okay.
visibly alarmed. No one ever delivers us post,
So,
and this wasn't in the schedule for the day that was written down. And I'm going to
okay.
stand there in disbelief for maybe 30 seconds or so, just staring at it, and then I'm going, Gaston,
Yes. What is it?
have you been ordering anything?
No, only some paper and quill. But I'm due to pick them up this afternoon.
Oh, oh right. Um, we appear to have had a delivery. I think they're called.
I see. Not normal for around here, unless it's normally accompanied by a messenger. How on earth would they have known someone wouldn't have stolen it?
I pick up the parcel and I visibly inspect it.
Okay, make an investigation roll.
Oh shit, we're not on a
No, we're not on the thing you have to type your rolls in.
roll investigation. Oh, lucky you. Oh, it's not roll 2. 1D. What is it? 1D20 plus 2.
Mhm. You will need to do it in the roll. Oh, it does in that channel too. 17. Okay. It appears to be a well-wrapped brown paper parcel. And it appears the dot is the only mark on it apart from where the string is touching the paper.
Dot.
It also weighs about 2 pounds.
So it's like an ink dot on it.
Yeah,
On
like
it,
an
is
ink
it?
blot.
What colour ink?
Black.
Black, you say? Hmm. And I assume like our living area has like a counter.
You've got a little table.
Yeah, I'd like to walk it over the table
Okay.
in view of Gaston and look at it some more, while saying to him, "We appear to have what colour is the paper? It's brown, isn't it?
Brown parcel, brown string.
We appear to have received a brown parcel weighing approximately £2. There's no visible markings on it, apart from this one single black ink dot.
That is addressed to you in code.
I cast my brains back to whether I know any codes.
It's not a code you've seen, but it's got a dot on it, and your last name is Dots.
Ah, perhaps. Yes, I suppose my last name is Dots. Perhaps the sender wasn't literate, of course. I wonder what it is, and I would like to proceed to open it.
Okay. As you pull the string, it comes away nicely in a single folded piece. Whoever did this knew how to wrap a parcel. And inside you find a small ceramic pot filled with soil and a bare wooden sprout with a piece of string attaching a piece of paper to it.
1 second, sorry, I was leaning over. Say that again, a small pot of soil.
A small ceramic pot filled with soil with a bare wooden sprout sticking out of it, like a little plant. Imagine Groot, but not cute. Just
Oh,
a
yeah.
little dead wooden thing. And a piece of string with a piece of paper attached to it.
I would like to examine this pot. Can I tell anything like from looking at the pot? Like, is it
Uh,
any craft work that I would know?
Make an investigation check. 14. It appears to be magical in nature.
A magical pot.
Yes. You can roll Arcana to find out what it does if you want to.
I, being a keen investigator, are well versed in the arcane art. I suppose I am. I'm a bard, aren't I?
Yeah.
And I would like to try to determine whether it's, well, not whether what how it's magical. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. That's fine. 12. Okay, so you passed the DC. So, this is a small magical pot, and when watered, the branch inside will grow a small amount of a random spice. Once a day. That's it.
And yes, you can hear me type in, and yes, I am playing that kind of character for once.
You're going to keep a
I'm
memory.
literally writing you word for word what you're saying.
That's fine.
Um, Gaston, it appears to be a small ceramic pot filled with soil, a bare wooden sprout coming out of it. Having picked it up, I do feel it's magical, and I believe when watered, the branch inside will grow a small amount of a random spice. Once a day.
Well, an interesting item. Normally something one would send as a house gift or housewarming gift.
Yes, very peculiar. And then I would like to take a look at the piece of string with a piece of paper attached to it.
Fair enough. You unhook it from the wooden branch it was hanging from, and as you open it up, it is in fact a very crude map with a big black X drawn on it.
Is it clear from looking what it is a map of?
Not in the slightest. You've got a mountain range, some forest, and what appears to be some field. That is all the hints you have.
Hmm, a map. Curiouser and curiouser. Well, Gaston,
Yes.
I do believe some holistic detective work is in order.
I see. Well, if you can come back with some food, or, money for food, or the rent for dinner, that would be great too.
Yes, and tea. You can't forget the tea. But
Of course, tea.
this is very peculiar. This is the first time a job's come to me. I
Well,
think. I think this. I think if I just carry on with my day, everything will become clear.
cool. Okay. So, I assume
And
you're
I
going to
suppose I'll put the pot on the side. I will keep the piece of paper with a string in my inventory.
Fair enough. Okay. So, are you off to the next section on your average day list I've got?
Yep.
Okay. You make your way through the marketplaces into the large trade centers. Seeking a job. Roll me a. I had this written down for a reason. Uh, Investigation check with advantage for local contact.
Can it be an Arthur Keenan?
Yes, it can.
Sweet. 1d20 plus 2. 2. It's 2d20k1, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oops.
2D.
Uh,
2d20 plus modifier space K1.
why
You
am I having
you need to
trouble with this?
recopy it. You can't just edit it, unfortunately.
Oh, shit.
22. Okay. You are approached by a guard helping an old lady who is rambling and desperate to find her lost treasure she buried in the slums during her youth. She remembers very, very clearly that it was in sight of a tall tree, the palace, and one of the cisterns which surround the village. What do you want to do next? Do you want to take that one or do you want to roll again?
I believe I will take that one.
Okay.
The thought being in my head that I've just received a map, and maps often lead to treasure. So this has only reinforced my belief.
Fair enough. Okay. Make a perception check for searching.
PPPP. Uh, +2. Oof.
5. You spend most of the morning.
Wait, hold on. Is it in the local area?
It is. Do you get advantage from your feature?
I'm just wondering. Let me have a look at Keen Minds. Because if it's in the area I live, surely I would know my way around.
Oh, you know your way around, so you'd be able to check locations.
No,
No.
I can
Okay.
accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month.
Fair enough.
So that
You,
basically means I don't do history checks.
well, not for the
Like,
last month.
yeah. So if I ever
Yeah.
forget any notes,
So, this is why you'd have to take really accurate notes. So you can RP this. Okay, so you spend the morning looking for locations where you can see these three things. A large oak tree, the palace, and one of the cisterns. Inside the slums, which is essentially a favela at this stage, as the city's grown, uh, you're unable to find one. However, your passive perception was 11, right?
yeah.
Okay. You do notice as you're wandering round, left abandoned and somewhat ruined, under one of the what do you call it, stairs leading up to a bordello, a small red guitar. I say small, it's a full size guitar.
Oh,
Hmm.
would I take it? I think I would proceed to pick it up.
Okay. You want make an investigation roll.
Yeah, small red guitar. Investigation roll. Roll 1d20 plus 2. Oof.
Or, it appears to be a red guitar. That's about what you've got so far.
And I'm not getting any inklings of magical energy come off it.
If I say not with a 4, but
Would you like?
make an arcana as well.
Yeah.
Because we'll climb. Nothing
That's
innately
you
sprung
got
to
it.
mind, but you
Oh, it's
can.
not a flat, is it? +1.
18. Okay, I will send you the item in messaging.
Real life. Oh.
I'm not getting a red guitar. One I found online, which I thought was quite nice. Okay, you can read that at your own leisure. So, about 1 o'clock, you've investigated all the places you thought you might be able to find a site of these three things, but are currently unable to do so.
So I haven't been able to find the location specified.
No.
Okay, can I glance around and see if there's any standbys?
People standing around.
Yes, that's what I
Uh,
meant.
yes. Okay, make a perception check.
1d20 +2. Oh,
Uh, as far
I
as you
see
know.
nobody in a busy street.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're in the slums, people are coming and going. As far as you can tell, no one stands still for long around here.
And I wouldn't have been able to discern what anyone looked like with a 1, would I?
Not
Like,
really. But you'd get the general idea. There's a few rough and tough and street thug types, as well
I
as
am
the
going
local
to
prostitutes.
approach the very first person who gets within 15 feet of me.
Roll a d6 for me. 4. Okay, the first person will be. Okay, you approach a local street tough.
What race is he?
A
Can I
human.
kind of glance him over? A human.
Yeah, what do you want?
1 second. Um, so I'm going to look at him, and then having immediately kind of gathered he's a bit of a thuggish sort, I'm going to say, "You're right, mate. Just wondering, you from around here?"
Yeah, I live just down the road. I work protection for the old Lion Inn.
Oh, nice, nice. I like the good old inn. Don't suppose you know if there's any tall trees about anywhere? I'm just on the hunt for something, you see, and dropped something over by a tall tree. I was a bit, just come out of one of the pubs actually, and I'm just I, I don't really remember where it was, but it was within sight of the palace and one of the cisterns that surround the village. Uh,
Uh,
Beyond that, God, you know how it is.
you'll need to head to the north end to see a cistern and the palace. But since the slums went up, it's been a while. You won't see many trees around here. Not for the last 20 years. They cut them down for the old drill field over to the right.
Ah, all right then. Oh, cheers for your help, and I would like to flick him a single gold piece.
Oh, that's very generous. That's more than he gets paid a day. As he gives you a nod and says, I'll keep an eye out for you at the Lion Inn. You never know when you might want a girl.
No trees nearby, all cut down for drill. To see palace and cistern, I have to head north. And I would like to proceed on my leisurely stroll up north.
Okay. You make your way to the northern end of the slums. You're now in an area where you can see directly to the north. You've got the palace moat and walls, followed by the actual palace itself rising above. And the cisterns, you can see the palace's one just off to the right. There's people coming and going, a lot more military types from this location, as they practice on the drill fields to your right. Not east, sorry.
Can I approach one of the military types walking past?
Certainly. Roll a d4 for me. It's just rank.
Oh, that's actually a private message to you.
Oh, uh, 4. You grabbed the captain by tapping him on the shoulder. The large, bearded man turns to you and says, also, if I don't say a race, it's human, just as a note.
Yep.
Turns to you and says, yes, civilian, what can I do for you?
Hello, my name's Inspector Dots. I'm actually in the midst of a official inquiry at the moment. I'm looking out for a, a crime scene, possibly. It should be a tall tree within sight of the palace. Don't suppose you know where this location is, do you?
Tree in...
Having noted that is me invoking the official inquiry feature.
Fair enough. He will stroke his beard and say, well, the only trees are in the palace gardens, but I don't think any of them are more than about 10 feet, 11 feet tall. They were replanted after the last incident. However, the rest of the ones in town were cut down nearly 30 years ago. We've, as I say, it's mostly been flattened for mercantile use and our own training to keep the place safe.
I see. I don't suppose you, being a military man, would have any old maps, perchance?
Certainly I can dig one out for you. Stop by to find it in about an hour. We're just heading back for lunch.
Thank you very much. I will come find you in an hour's time. Whereabouts will you be?
I'll be having my lunch at the Lady Luck. It's my treat day.
Have a pleasant afternoon, morning, and I will see you in a short while.
Fair enough. You realise it's getting to about midday, so it's not surprising he wants to head for lunch. Would you care to go for lunch as well?
I suppose, considering I'm waiting, I probably would.
Yeah. Do you want to go to the same place he went to, or do you want to just find the nearest, cheapest
I
one?
will be polite, and I will go to the nearest, cheapest pub.
Fair enough. You make your way to one of the small inns or restaurants inside the slums, and enjoy yourself a nice bowl of smashed potatoes with what is liberally called gravy.
And how much does that cost me?
That sets you back a whole 2 copper because you ate in the slums.
Okay, so I've got 25 gold, 24 gold,
9 silver, 8 copper.
8. Yeah, got it.
Okay. After your not very nice lunch, you make your way over to the Lady Luck to catch up with the captain, I assume.
Yeah, has it been about an hour?
Yeah, we'll call it about an hour by the time you found
Has it
your
been
way there.
exactly an hour? Because
It has.
I would like to, as close as, I suppose I've got a keen mind. I don't lose track of
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
I
you
would
don't lose
like to
time.
walk in at the
Exactly an
hour.
hour.
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk into the Lady Luck, exactly 1 hour later from when you met the captain, you see someone appears to be challenging the Lady Luck's famous climbing goal. The rough stone column in the middle is being scaled by a young recruit from the military. You spot the captain sitting over one of the sides cheering on his man.
I would like to go stand near the captain and continue to watch this recruit climb.
Fair enough. The recruit makes it about 75% of the way up to cheers and wooing from the staff and the rest of the patrons, before eventually sliding all the way down to the floor. His challenge has unfortunately ended in failure, and he has not won a free lunch.
No.
I know. The
That
terrible shame.
I shake my head and go, how very unfortunate.
Yes. And so, poor lad, he could have done with a break. Anyway, Mr. Dots, I believe I have something for you, as he pulls a now slightly stained, but very old map, about 25, 30 years old in paper, and hands it to you.
I would gracefully receive the paper and
Mhm.
I will turn to him and I will say, thank you ever so much for your cooperation in this matter. Is there any payment due, or
No, no, wasn't say the old maps aren't worth much. I just had to get I sent the boy to grab them out for storage. That's why he thought he'd try his hand for a free lunch.
I see, I see. Well, pass this on to him for me, and I would like to give him 2 silver.
Fair enough. Enough for a drink. In here, anyway. This is an expensive pub. Okay. You make your way to the nearest source of light to read the map. Looking at it, there's only 2 locations where it could possibly have been. You can see the old large tree would be almost in the dead center of the drill fields. And from there you'd probably be able to see one of the cisterns and the palace. The other location is to the very north of the palace gardens, where another large tree used to stand before it was cut down. Which one do you want to investigate?
I would like to go to the one far north, I think.
Fair enough. You make your way. You spend about an hour making your way all the way through the palace gardens. Thankfully, it doesn't go through the main security checkpoint. These gardens are allowed to be walked by the public. As you do, you see the very fine apple orchards and all sorts been set out here. There's clearly setting something up because there's tables being carried up towards the palace, etc., etc. And as you do, you make your way to the location you believe. Actually, make an investigation check on that one for me to see how
Yeah.
accurately you work out where this tree would have been.
Investigation, that's just +2.
Yeah. 19. You make your way to what you're fairly damn certain is the location of the tree previously. It currently sits in a small ring of mushrooms and various other things by the castle wall, by the palace wall, because the shade unfortunately has allowed the moisture and various other things to build up.
I realise I've made an error.
You don't have
Should
a
have
shovel.
asked. I should have asked the old dear how deep it was buried.
It would have been good too.
Um, and also I don't have a shovel.
Want to try digging with your hands?
No, I'm a very elegant man. Is there anybody around?
Not at this part of the garden. You're basically at the back at this stage.
I would like to backpedal slightly
Okay.
to the first place I can see people.
Okay, that will be the road. Literally heading up to the palace.
Road.
It's all the way back down through the gardens. So it's only a quick stroll through the gardens.
Okay. I would like to look around for people. Ideally, I'm looking for a young man.
There's various ones hauling tables and other such things up towards the palace.
Are there any who do not look like they're very busy?
The gardeners seem to be having a nice time just pruning things up.
I would
They're
like
mostly focusing on this sections either side of the path.
to approach one of the gardeners. Um, do any of them look any friendlier than the others?
They're mostly in the green uniforms with straw hats on. It's quite hard to tell. I make a perception check.
Perception, that is
11. They look about the same.
I would like to call out and go, "Hello there, gardener. How would you like to earn a bit of extra money?"
One of the gardeners sticks his head up and looks over towards me and says, "Money, you say? How's that then?"
I would like to look at him and then kind of gesture down at myself and say, "Well, I'm looking for a gardener. Can you believe it? As you can tell, I mean, look at me. I'm not really the sort to be digging or gardening or anything like that. I'm just looking for a man with a spade, really. Looking to make a bit of quick bob."
Make a persuasion check for me.
That is actually a different skill.
That is indeed a different skill. That's probably when you get. Yeah, I was going to say. Well, I suppose I could do with a few extra silver for some drinks tonight. Come along then. Where do you need this hole dug?
And I would like to lead him over to where I believe the treasure is buried.
Okay. He is going to start digging. With a trowel, to be fair, so...
I've just realised I think I could have invoked official inquiry again
Yeah, probably.
and skipped all those because they have to help. It basically goes if you're doing an investigation,
Yeah,
don't need to worry about. Oh
provided
well.
it's sanctioned, but yeah, that's fine. So as he heads over and begins digging through the mushrooms, you find yourself watching him dig up mushroom roots, mushroom spores, mushroom growth. This is a lot of mushrooms.
Now,
And you've
can
never
I?
asked exactly what the old lady planted.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I can't. I don't think I even spoke to the old lady. I think we didn't RP that, did we?
No.
Um, can I tell by looking at the mushrooms, invoking my extensive survival experience, how old these mushroom spores he's digging up are? And roots?
Make a nature check.
Oh yeah, it's nature, not survival.
Nature and survival are pretty synonymous. They're both wisdom skills, but 16, not bad. Okay, with a 16, you will notice the mushrooms were planted here a while ago, but they appear to be growing round something. If you can get this guy to keep digging a bit further, you might find it.
Having felt reassured by my inspection, I will. Is he still willingly digging?
Uh, he's slowed down a bit now. He seems to just be hitting nothing but mushrooms and mushroom body.
I would like to offer him words of encouragement and say, "Don't worry, we're quite close now." Sorry, I didn't realise how deep this would need to be.
Uh, all right. I'll keep going for a moment as he continues digging down and eventually finds, coming out of the hole, the body of the mushroom twisted around a small silver and gold ring. And yes, I said silver and gold.
Found some gardeners. Paid one to dig for me. Lots of mushrooms. Eventually, a small gold and silver ring. Did you say?
Ring, yes.
And I will like to say thank you. I think you've got it.
Oh, well, that's good. I better get back to my main job now. There was the brief discussion of a few coins.
Of course, and I would like to give him 7 silver.
7 silver it is.
Is that
Okay,
enough for you, sir?
that'll do kindly as he tucks it away down into his coin purse. Well, if you need any other small holes dug, let me know. As he heads back to his regular job.
And realizing I made a mistake, I'm going to, using my hands, kind of move some of the soil and mushrooms to kind of cover that hole up again.
Fair enough.
Could have paid him to.
You could have paid him to close it up, but you know.
It'd be sacked tomorrow morning. Who's going fucking digging holes?
He was digging up mushrooms. He can't sure what something. Okay, what do you want to do next? It's now getting on for about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 o'clock. I would like to head back, making a bit of haste, I believe.
Fair enough. As you make your way quickly back, where to? Home or?
To where the woman and the guard were.
Fair enough. You make your way back. You find the guard is resting, casually looking over the markets, and as you approach him, he directs you to where the old woman is staying at the moment. You make your way up towards her rented room, and she appears to be sleeping in a chair.
I would like to, not quietly, but I would like to approach, kind of making a little bit of noise.
She does not stir.
I don't know her name, Mrs. Woman.
Fair, I didn't give her one. Old lady is fine. She was brought to you by the guard when you were looking for jobs.
Excuse me, dear.
Her eyes open for a brief moment as she sighs and goes limp in the chair.
Here, and I'd
Hey,
like to approach a bit closer.
make an investigation check as you do.
Arthur Keenan?
Yeah, sure.
Why do I keep checking? It's +2.
Well, you'll get there. Hey,
Oof.
you can't
That one.
see what's gone wrong, but she's definitely stopped talking.
Her eyes open or closed?
Semi-open.
I would like to attempt to perform some medicine.
Okay. As you get close enough to the old lady to touch her, she sits up, bolt upright in the chairs, her eyes glowing a faint green colour. And in a voice very different than the one when she told you where the treasure was, she says, and this is really hard to actually put across as an audio thing, so bear with me. The king has requested your presence twice now. Do attend soon. The map from this morning will show the way. Be alert for the other guests before dropping down.
Dropping down as in she's dead?
She's dead. She was dead from the first time. This is just an interesting way to send the
Yeah.
message spell.
I would like to call for the guards.
Fair enough.
Loudly.
The guards, well, a guard comes rushing in. Most of them are on market duty because it's the end of the trading day. And says, "Oh dear, the old dear croaked, did she?"
Yes, she was asleep when I came in. I just went to approach her and she's just gone limp.
I see. I
She
see.
opened her eyes briefly and then just dropped.
Well, at least this seems to be nothing more than she was old. What were you doing in here?
Well, I'm doing an inquiry, of course.
I see.
She had sent me. She had given me a investigation to perform. I'm Inspector Dots, as I'm sure you are aware. Um,
Yes, yes, I gave you the job this morning.
yes. So what a weird thing to ask me.
Well,
Um,
well, just I think that's a good point.
you pointed her out.
That's a fair point. I hadn't thought of how this would read back. That'll give me a break. I wrote a lot of these, and I wrote it to be as open-ended as possible. There's a very good chance you didn't meet her ever.
Oh,
Um, well, you best leave this with me. You should hurry on home. I don't.
okay.
Unfortunately, it looks like you may not be getting paid for the job.
No, that's completely fine. I mean, I suppose my inquiry is officially over. Um, thank you for your time. And rest in peace to poor old dear.
As you make your way back through the markets,
What is the time?
the current time will be, by the time you got back from the thing, you'll be coming towards 5-ish o'clock?
5-ish o'clock. Okay, is the market still open?
The markets are getting ready to shut down, but they're not quite gone yet.
I would like to rush to the tea stall.
Fair enough. How many cups of tea would you like to buy ingredients for?
Well, considering I haven't been paid today, I mean, I do have this small ring,
Mm.
which I will look at when I get home. But considering I haven't been paid, I think I will buy 2 cups of tea for me and my colleague for tomorrow.
So is that 2 each? So 4 total?
No, two total.
2 total. Okay, so that'll be 2 silver for that much. As you are handed the small paper pouch tea is kept in.
Okay, got tea. Bum bum bum. Cool. She then died. Called for guards. Not getting paid. rush to buy tea. For fuck's sake, I need tea. Okay. I take it and I thank her kindly, and I will head back to my hovel.
Fair enough. As you approach the hovel, you can see Gaston has laid out a few items on the table. He, as you get through the door, he welcomes you in. Ah, Dots, my good man. I've had a rather peculiar day. Twirling his bushy moustache, still trying to get it to points from this morning. Still failing.
I would like to immediately walk in and kind of almost ignore his remark. I assume this table we've got a couple of chairs, don't we?
Yeah, you have a chair, a stool each.
Now, I would like to pull the stool closest to him out
Mm-hmm.
and then walk around the table, pull the other one out and sit on it and go, "We've got an investigation to do."
Have we? Well, that's good. I had a odd one today myself. They apparently residents lost about 10 minutes and they were just found themselves doing another action. About 12, 13 of them I found. As he shows you, some of them were holding things they'd never seen before, and he shows you a smattering of objects on the table. And some of them were just found in their homes, things they've never seen before. It seems to be an odd collection. Children's toys, and a small letter, this time directly addressed to you.
I had a small letter addressed for me. I see, I see. Did you take a copy of the letter or have you got the original?
This is the original, of course. I
Um,
haven't opened it.
I will take it from him
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and then I will briefly, well, not briefly, I will in very deep detail tell him everything that has happened today, including that quote, "The king has requested your blah, blah, blah." I'm going to be completely upfront and honest and tell him everything.
That's fine.
And while I'm doing this, I'd like to be looking at that small gold and silver ring.
Fair enough. Make a investigation check.
You've kind of ruined that. It glow. Oh.
I was gonna say I was gonna say perception, but then I realized it'd be investigation because you're holding it.
Investigation plus 1d20 plus 2.
22. It's not magical. It's worth about 25 gold pieces.
Well, 25. So that is actually a very good job for me.
Yeah.
And then I would like to look at this letter. Is it in an envelope?
It is in an envelope. It's very finely folded. It's very nice. It's written in. As you begin looking at the quality of the writing, this was either written by a child or a mastiff. You're
Probably
not
don't
quite
actually
sure
need to
which.
quote you on that.
No, badly written.
Can I make out what it says?
It's got your name on it in big letters. Very. You know how a kid holds a pen with a fist? Written
Yeah,
as if it was done like that.
it just says my name.
Yeah.
I would like to look up from the letter and catch eyes of Gaston and
Oh no,
say,
that's what's on the envelope, not what's
up
in the
on the
letter.
envelope. I would like to open the envelope.
Okay. Inside, the letter is near perfectly written and appears to be on the back of a much more detailed version of the map you received this morning. This time with place names and colour and full locations, and the message reads as follows. I have put it in the roles channel so you can see it.
Yep.
Do you want to read it out? Or shall I?
Who Inspector Dots, your presence is formally requested for the fourth time now. Please attend as soon as you're able to its residence at the foot of the White Horn Mountains. The other guests may be a strange assortment, but do be as polite as you are able. Yours, the King.
The gap is intentional with the king, for the record. I also thought it was longer than that.
I look up at Gaston and kind of lock eyes with him Say, by God, Gaston, can you not see?
I can see that people have found a bunch of junk today and blamed it on time missing.
No, this letter. Do you not remember what I just told you? The king
Indeed.
has requested your presence twice now, and the thing this morning. Look at these two maps, and I show him the two maps.
As you look over the maps, even he can see that it's definitely now a very, very fine form of the same map. Just clearly you weren't. Why would he send you two maps? How would he know to send the other map? This is the Whitehorns. These are across the country, across the continent. How would he know to send two if the first one didn't work from this morning?
Oh well, Gaston, you know how these things work. It's holistic. The universe has just decided that I couldn't decipher that first map, and we've stumbled across another. It's our our theory. My theory is coming true. Can you not see this?
I see. Well, are you going to go? It sounds like you're about to be murdered.
I have to go. I have to see this through.
I see. Well, I shall hold down the fort here and try and keep the walls above our head.
Yes, yes. I mean, you've been my Oh, I don't want to call you an apprentice. You're much more than that, but you're more than capable of covering the rent here for now. I'm sure.
Yes, well, let's hope so. If you find me in the street in, I guess, a few months' time when you get back, you know why.
Oh, Gaston, don't be silly. Holistically, that is completely impossible. Also, I'm quite glad I didn't hand him a ring. I've
You
just
think
forgot.
he's going to go broke?
Yeah, no, he's definitely allergic to silver.
Yeah, that's also a great point. I forgot about that.
Um,
Uh,
but of course, perhaps ask for the currency in a metal you're not allergic to when you get paid, Gaston, or wear gloves. I'm sure you've got gloves.
I'm sure this is a good idea, and I'll do my best. Well, good luck and good good investigations with your journey. And I assume you're going to set off the next morning?
Yes, after my lovely cup of tea.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
will pack a bunch of things.
And what are you
Um,
taking with you?
I obviously will take everything that's currently in my inventory.
Are you taking the pot with you as well as the only other question?
I think I will take the pot with me.
Yeah.
I will take both maps.
Mm-hmm.
I won't take the tea because we're drinking that
Yeah.
before we go. Um, and I will take the ring.
Fair enough. Okay. So, for your journey, please roll me two D100s.
No.
Ooh, 99, you're in the prize range.
I'm actually rocking the rolls tonight.
I was going to say, yeah, Discord is
I've had
killing
two
it.
D20s.
Yeah, you've had two nat 20s. You've had two nat 1s as well, to be fair, but the
Yeah.
99 on 100 is damn good. Okay, so let's start with your excellent result. As you make your way across the heart of the continent, you find yourself surrounded briefly by strange glowing mushrooms. In
Oh, another bard I know would have loved this.
Fair enough. As you do, you notice small fairies have stopped by and would like to offer you a blessing. Will you accept?
I mean, the player in me says no, but the holistic detective in me says yes.
Okay. Roll a d6 for me.
You are blessed to be deathly allergic to all metals.
No. 6. Ah, you got the good one. You can increase the stat point by 1.
Oh,
Any one you like.
oh, what would I want to increase by one? I think I'm going to increase intelligence because that will give me
12.
a +1.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fine. And secondly, as you head further toward approaching your destination, you find yourself surrounded momentarily by wolves. They were easily shooed off, they were hungry. But scaring them off did offer you a small amount of experience. And finally, as you make your way through the forest, you see coming down several other paths in front of the grand keep in front of you, before the moat. To your right, a dwarf in military garb, and to your left, a half-orc with a small retinue in shiny, shiny armor.